But He gave me a gift that I will never forget. A gift that perhaps has changed my whole life. A gift that I think about real often. My dad was a disciplinarian. In fact, to tell you the truth, my dad only whipped me one time. And ever since then, he'd look at me and he'd say, jump, and I'd say, hi, Dad. Hi. He only had to whip me one time. But he gave me a hatchet. Oh, I loved that hatchet. That hatchet was a wonderful gift. I'd go around and I'd chop on this tree, I'd chop on that tree. I just about chopped everything I could chop. But you see, I can't claim to be a good boy. I haven't always been a good boy. Meanness gets into me every once in a while. And I was walking, and I saw this swing hanging from this tree. And I got to thinking, I had my hatchet in my hand. I said, you know, there's a little girl lives here, and this is her swing. But you know that if I just take that swing and wrap it around that tree and just chop that rope where it's almost in two, when she starts to swinging, she will fall. Oh, boy, that would be a good thing to do. And I chopped it. And I wrapped it around that tree. And, and then let it back down. But did you know something happened to me on the way home? The thing that happened on me on the way home is that I thought about that little girl. And I thought how she would get hurt if she got to swinging real high. I thought she could break her leg, she could break her hip. And for some reason or other, I'm serious, I started crying. And I said, I must tell Dad. And then I thought about it and I said, I can't tell Dad, said he'll wear me out. But said, that little girl might hurt herself. So I got home. I was crying when I got home. I looked at my dad, and I knew what was coming. I knew what was coming. And I said, Dad, and I told him what I did. And you know what? I got the surprise of my lifetime. My dad did not spank me. He did not even say a bad word to me. He did not yell at me. He did not holler at me. You know what he did? He took those big, strong arms of his, and he put those arms around me, and he drew me up close to him, and he hugged me, and he whispered in my ear. He said, son, I'm so proud of you for telling the truth. And he said, don't you worry about it, son. Said, I tell you what I'll do. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to call that girl's parents and tell them to not let their daughter swing in the swing. And then I tell you what we're going to do, son. We're going to Mara, and we're going to buy a rope, and we're going to fix the girl's swing. That has had a changing impact on my life. The gift of a hug, the gift of a kiss, the gift of saying, I thank you for telling the truth. And this leads me to the second thing that I'd like for us to consider for just a moment this morning. And it's the gift of the Heavenly Father. We cannot begin to name all the gifts from our Heavenly Father. You know, count your many blessings, name them one by one. It will surprise you what God has done. You can spend a lifetime counting your blessings one by one, but never get through. I just read a story of what we call the prodigal son. The younger son said to his father, Father, give me the share of the property that will belong to me. And the father gave the younger son his share, that part which belonged to him. It was not a sin to ask for your inheritance. But the son took his inheritance and he traveled into a distant country and he spent his substance in dissolute living. And after he spent all they had, a severe famine took place throughout that whole land. And he went, and a citizen of that country hired him and sent him out into the field to feed the pigs. The young man was so hungry that he would have eaten the pods that the pig ate. Now, what is this picture of? It's a picture of a son who wanted to be free. It's a picture of a son who wanted to be independent. And that's what our trouble is. We want to be free. We want to be independent. God has given us a rich inheritance. Our emotions, our mentality, our healthy bodies, a beautiful earth. And we want to use it the way we want to use it. We want to take our inheritance and claim it for our own. And that's our sin. You see, when we do this, we become just like the prodigal son. We become a slave. And we become lost. And the freedom that we desire has escaped us. The son, as verse 17 says, came unto himself. That is, he realized what a fool he was. He looked toward home and he thought about his father's servants and he said, they have bread enough and to spare, and I'm dying with hunger. He decides to go home. He rehearses his speech. He's got it memorized. I have a feeling he was saying it all the way home, so that when he got before his father, he wouldn't make a mistake. That speech, he goes to go tell like this, Father, I've sinned against heaven and before you. I'm no longer worthy to be called your son. Treat me like one of your hired servants. And guess what? He got a surprise going home like I did. You remember? He got a surprise. And the surprise was that his daddy was looking for him. The father saw his son, and the father was filled with compassion. He ran and put his arms around him and kissed him. The father did not even give his son a chance to complete his rehearsed speech. He looked at the people who worked for him. He said to those, bring out a robe, the best one. Put it on him. Put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. Get the fatted calf and kill it. And let us eat and celebrate.